had to think about what separates a successful coach and one that is not successful. And I think it would be the same in any organization, in any profession. Let me back this up. Any organization, there's a crappy diner out there, there's a crappy practitioner out there, doctor, dentistry, it doesn't matter, coaches too, right? Every organization, every industry has that. I think the difference is coaches that are successful have learned how to run their business and also meet the needs of their clients. It has to be two ways. How do I still run my business? And also, how do I help people, right? And a lot of coaching in the coaching industry are not with big organizations, right? You know, there's a few franchise coaching industries out there, and they have some of that collaboration and team. However, I find the single practitioner, the person who's just doing their coaching, because when they're doing coaching, they also are missing out on marketing, advertising, going out there, shaking hands, kissing babies, right? When you can. So there's feast or famine, right? Is they're out there building, they get 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 clients, and they're working with them, but then the marketing stops. Then the other stuff stops. And so what we have learned is that we need people, we need to tap into resources that allows that stuff to still happen while you're working with the client. Right? Because when you're working with a client, you don't have that time, nor should you be thinking about how am I going to get the next meal? How am I going to buy the next thing? How am I going to do all these other things, right? You still have to do those things. And here's the other thing. Learn to fail. Learn to fail. Because if you don't want to fail and you want to walk on eggshells and you just want to be careful, here's the thing. And we hear this often about comfort zone. And a lot of us make sense because a lot of our habits are in comfort zones for sure, right? And it makes sense. It serves us. It's supposed to, right? But here's the thing. Comfort zone may be nice. It may look nice and green and it's quite lovely and we feel good in it, but nothing grows there. Nothing grows in comfort zone. Successful people are constantly growing. And so if you feel that you're constantly growing, you are successful. If you have learned how to fail, you are successful. If you don't take risk in not only in your business, but in your knowledge, in your development, in what you do, then you're not going to be successful. And if you master that without doing any of those things, then good on you. I just know from my experience and the people I work with, those are common things. Why it's so important to have a good habit, if we're going to call it that, or a habit that you want to be able to do again and again, it removes the additional thinking. It also allows for consistency in your life. We are creatures of habit. Have you heard that before? I didn't come up with that. I mean, a lot of smart people out there. We're creatures of habit. So the question is, are the habits that you have, are they serving you? Are you getting to where you need to be? If you find that you struggle, you're not where you need to be, you're not getting things done the way you want, then step back and say, what habits do I have? Because that's the change you need, is the changing of the habit, right? And I'll go even further to say, you know, sometimes people ask, well, how do you get rid of a bad habit? How do you make sure you don't do, you know, a bad habit? Get another habit. Because sometimes you can't eradicate the bad habit. You just need another habit, right? I learned this from Christopher when he had a great way of him explaining it, is where he said, you know, when you're walking on a sidewalk and you want to go left and there's a piece of grass there and you start cutting the grass, you know, just cut, instead of going all the way to the end and make a left, you just cut over, you start walking, you'll notice that path is grooved in, right? That's someone making habits. They created a new path. Right? So if you want to stop that habit, you may have to put up a fence around the grass, but you still are going to walk through, right? You're still going to go to the other side, but you have now a new way of doing it, right? And that's why sometimes when they change the stop sign to a light, there's accidents because people habitually they knew to stop, right? Or they remove the stop sign, you're still stopping. There's no stop sign, right? Because it was habitual, right? So I would say if you want to get rid of a habit, even though you can't really get rid of it, create a new habit, create a counter habit. Right? So if I'm a smoker and, you know, the reason why I went outside is because I wanted to get a break, and while I'm on a break I was smoking a cigarette, but I don't want to do smoking anymore, but I want to still have that break, then go do something else. Say to someone, let's go for a quick walk. It's been an hour, let's go for a 15-minute walk. So that way you created a new habit. The difference is you're not going to smoke on this walk, right? So it's not just stay at your desk and don't go out, right? Because you may want to go out. So create a new habit for yourself.